It's Podraza. I'm not making any of this up. Part of this is I'm fed that Sonar in here. I'm fed all sorts of stuff that I'm forced to read, and it is not my mind. Now that has to stop in this apartment. We can discuss this stuff. That has to be out of here. They either wanted to know exactly what I was thinking or make me make a mistake. I make them on and off, and I'm fully able to admit mistakes. But I have to get to that bank today. That takes money out of my food, and I don't want any kind of overdraft charge. That's not for you to worry about. Read the emails. Sometimes I have to rest. It causes heart issues, and I have to relax so that I don't get involved with that right now. And that's where this is at. That has to come out of this apartment. It enrages me, it angers me, and should have never taken place. And that's the problem. I should not have been surveilled. I am not part of that. You have a beautiful day. That's all I need to leave you on a message. Have a beautiful day. Don't mean to bother you, but I got to rush for a bus, and I have to be home Wednesday and Thursday for some deliveries, and then keep doing what I'm doing. I have to eat. You have a good day. I'm sure you had a nice dinner. I hope for the two of you that you did. Please read the emails. Thank you. Just one quick statement. Got the balances done as well as I could. Thus far, we haven't got the lease done. Thankful for that. It went pretty well in the bank on that, and I'm finishing up some bills on this subject. It's a pleasure to be dealing with you and your husband. The Podrazas are very much in it for a phone call. And boy, I want them grilled on this subject matter. That is no part of Texas that I want to listen to other than that family and how they betrayed my mother and father. And that is what I want to hear from next on this. And we can communicate as often as you feel that is necessary and comfortable on this. I can't do a thing about who listens to what listens to. They weren't supposed to in the first place. And that is for I don't know how many years, since at least when I was old enough to know, which is in my 30s, that I knew that something was being done, period. Now I'm pleased on that information. I'm pleased on that knowledge. That calms me, and it should be done. You have a beautiful day. Hi, it's Pat Podraza. Sorry. I want to tell you nothing but good things. As far as dealing with you, this apartment has to be dealt with. There can be nothing fed to me in here. They're hollering about me leaving. When I deal with you, I have to move to Connecticut. If there were a gentleman, for sure, I would visit. It's trainable. It has to certainly start here where my son is at, and we work from here. And we pay the rent accordingly, and we discuss it. I have left you an email on that. In Massachusetts, my kids there, how it all impacts. But that cannot be a permanent move. That is that element that I am not getting along with in Maine. TD Bank is doing the best they can for me on this subject matter. I'll speak to my son on some balance in the future. And I cannot be tolerating it. That forced me to this physical level in the first place. And I will still order from Joel Hall. He gets it to me. I receive it. There's a way of keeping track of it, when I don't need it and when I do need it for my budget. They have to be stopped in here. They have to do their own thing. I was literally told the only way to volunteer is maintenance, implying I'm a male. That was way out of line in the first place. And they don't understand my heritage or anything about it. And somebody that should have has got to step into this picture on that subject matter anyway. Now, I phoned the Fresnos. They're fine on that. That's the end of the denigration that takes place. You don't give me any, nor does your husband. It's easier in that fashion. I don't know what's going to impact, but those Podrazas have got to be addressed. And if we have to do some sort of conference call, I'm going to fight it out with their wives, or honestly, if Raymond can't hear. That's enough of that stuff out of them. And the Sashelskis are not even part of this picture. It is blood that is part of that picture. And I won't tolerate it in the Podrazas at all. It's unheard of. And not even returning calls, unheard of. I know what I would have had Navasota do to them. And that's where this is at. I'm not angry at you at all. Message. That is still trying to evict me. It has something to do with NATO, and he's connected with a certain element of Deborah Slavin or Basilica. I have my Catholic faith at home. And due to that problem of non-allowance of me even in a church and connecting me with lesbians, that is part of this also. That is what you have to address, or should address. First of all, that I sign a lease and that's enough out of them in here. I should not be fed their horrific brains and their obstinacy on this at all. They are not good. They feel they are. They may go to church. They are not good in terms of what I'm fed or forced to listen to. Give me a call when you're available. At the end of the day, I have to wait for pizza about 4:30 and catch a bus. I've got to get some groceries done. You have a good afternoon. It has to do with Capo Jews. They operate in terms of a Nazi bent. Some of them have even married in, I think, to Catholicism, and how this impacted. You've got the explanation on the communications industry, and that's important. You don't start from scratch at this point in there and, on that subject matter. And the issue is Bush on that subject matter. And I don't know how it's impacting, but my family has to straighten out in Texas. I don't want them messed up in that thing. That is not going to happen. That I'm involved in that communications industry. One should find out how Eileen died and why I didn't know where the funeral was. That is concerning Endicott in the communications industry. Died, this guy talked to her. I spent a few days with her, and that has to be looked at. Hi, it's Pat Podraza. I have to deal with the cab company. We do have to deal with this. I'm going to give you hell on this. Not you hell. I'm going to give you what has been hell. There was a change in behavior when I arrived in here. There wasn't a problem with the old management, and Sheila had to tell her, don't call me dear, I'm a straight. Now that's the only thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, Janice locked me out of here to begin with. The young one with spiked hair, young, very young, I'd say in her 30s. Related to Janice Berry is related to Bangor savings thing down the street. Little sister-in-laws or something. There is a Janice in here that I don't know what her field is, and she is kind of mother hen over this. There is a Janice in Connecticut that we know that I'm not involved in. Now, they admitted, and I read that they are black belts in that office. The first young Janice, the other one is still in the office. As long as she talks to me straight, it's been later on this, the door is always open for me to read. Oops, he does visit people also in there. And they have hits themselves, or husbands who are hits. They're in this organization, and we don't like each other. They're complainers, and they don't like doing their work. Now, she does her job and doesn't complain on that. The cleaning staff complains, and I don't want to hear about it. That is their job. It is not mine. Who was considered a male, and I am not. You've got that situation, you've told me. That's very important. Now, they have the hits taking care of the black belts. And now I can't get an air conditioner taken out, which is supposed to be taken out on the 15th, and there is no list up on the wall. Now, I've got the money ready. I have called twice. Now that has to be taken care of, because I'm not a male to get it out of here. They wanted me out of here. This, I cannot lose this apartment. That has to be stopped. I don't scream by nature. I don't have that kind of temperament. I don't know what happened with the old male, and we know I don't. And as far as Stephen Kotler, I want to know the truth as to whether he's retired, whether he's remarried. That answer.